All right, Bryce. Well, it looks like it is officially 10:02, so perhaps we will go ahead and get started here. Again, 73 attendees this morning. So how wonderful. So great to see so many wonderful friends who have joined us today. So thanks for taking a little time out of your busy days. Hopefully you got a cup of coffee and you can sit back and relive a few of the updates from the wonderful spring migration. So, Bryce, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Matt. And again, as Matt said, welcome everyone. We are very appreciative of you chiming in and helping us reflect a little bit and talk about the exciting spring we did have. We can't say enough good things. We just completed a board meeting on Tuesday, and it gave us a little opportunity to reflect and just go over what we're sharing today. But the board perspective is just really excited of where we are today and lots of momentum for the rest of the year. And to fill some of that in, I am Bryce Crone, President and CEO of the Crane Trust, and I have been here for going on 13 years now and spent about 12 years before that in the Central Platte River Valley. So I have about 25 years in the area and looking forward to many more. With us today is Abraham Cans, and he is our Director of Research, and he'll be speaking to science and some of the field work we're doing. And also Megan Launchbaugh is going to be speaking on behalf of our outreach and a glimpse of the Nature and Visitor Center that we had this spring. And then, of course, Mr. Matt Fong, who is running today's program and always a great asset for the trust and sharing our story. So with that, Matt, again, this is a picture from this year's volunteer appreciation luncheon that we had. And what a huge shout out to the volunteers we have in just so many ways. They do so many things behind the scene and in front of people and all aspects of our work. So thank you very much. Again, Shelley, Brad, Craig, not only providing oversight, but that connectivity to friends and networking and showing up and witnessing the Sandhill crane migration as well. And then all of you for taking your time out and traveling the world to be here. So it takes a lot of effort. We understand it's well worth it. We're a little biased, of course, but it is wonderful to see the beauty. So we just recently came off a strategic plan this past year and have shortened up our mission statement. Well, the Crane Trust protects Platte River prairies for migrating cranes. So with that, we were created in 1978 over a federal lawsuit. And as we go forward here, it was kind of on the heels of the Endangered Species Act. So a lot of talk today about the Endangered Species Act and what the impacts of the actual act is and what it entails. Well, it was the whooping crane primarily that helped us get established in 1978. So with that, there's a lot more to do on that, but we'll mainstream some of the conversations. And we are here in central Nebraska. We own or manage nearly 10,000 acres of land. So a little over 6,000 acres. It's fee title and then easements. And then, we've leveraged our work over that time throughout our 80-mile mission area. And we've, had a hand in habitat protection all throughout that 80 miles. So we're excited to bring on the Nature and Visitor Center in January 2012, and we are currently going through a visioning process with that, as well as that'll kick off a master planning here later this year. So we'll keep you in tune with that, and we're really excited to update our Nature and Visitor Center, which is found right on the southeast quadrant of Interstate 80 and the Alda exit here in Nebraska. And then our headquarters, which you see in the photo, is just 2 miles as a crane flies southeast of there. And many of you ventured out to the headquarters area and spent the night with us through our VIP program. and our photo workshop program. We had an impressive number, 518 guests spent the night this March alone. So it was wonderful to have over 30 days straight of overnight guests here and sharing the habitat and what it entailed being the Sandhill and Whooping Cranes that utilized the area at that same time. The Central Platte River Valley, as you can see on the map here, is as it goes through the North American continent, we are in the hourglass or the pinch point of it. And we have our 2019 research paper that details the use of 1.25 million sandhill cranes that migrate through and over 500 whooping cranes. And I don't want to steal Abe's thunder. He'll speak more to that later in the program. But just a magical place in central Nebraska. And a lot of the travelers that come here, it's the cranes that really bring the awareness to Nebraska and the Platte River. So once they come here and engage with us and learn more about us, it's just it's another aspect in the world that shows how important the natural world is. And along with that, we have millions of other migratory birds. So if you're a goose lover or shorebird lover or neotropical grassland nesting bird lover, we have something for everyone here. And with that, I am going to turn this over to Abe to really tell us a little bit more about the crane use.
Awesome. Thanks for kicking us off today, Bryce. Yeah, so I want to start by chatting a bit about the 2025 crane counts that we did. So many of you already know that the Crane Trust during the spring and now this last year we've started during the fall to do weekly flights to estimate the population of sandhill cranes present in the Central Platte River Valley. The Crane Trust has been coordinating these flights since 1998, and the flights go from Chapman to Overton or Overton to Chapman. We actually switch directions to make sure we're getting good sampling from both directions, east to west and west to east. What I always think about for this, was for the aerial estimates. I always think about it's about training your spatial awareness to estimate the density of the cranes. And so it really is like estimating, you count how many are in a small square and you expand that out. And that's how we get these estimates of hundreds of thousands of cranes. And then we will check, our counting, our estimates, based on photos that we'll take in flight as well. Now, this figure right here, shows our 2025 crane counts in comparison to previous years. Right, so we have 2016 and in there just as an earlier date to kind of look at, and 2023 and 2024. And you can see 2025 has a very different shape than those previous years, actually. We see this kind of early peak happening there, and it sustains for a couple weeks before falling back in line with the previous years. And there's some speculation around this. We've discussed it's possibly because there was drought further south, and we know that drought is a big driver of the cranes migrating more quickly and coming into Nebraska more quickly and staying here a bit longer to get resources before moving further north. Thinking back to that graph, I just want to make a few observations. So, one thing, those of you that look at our social media profiles may have already seen that the Crane Trust was keeping track of about 15,000 overwintering cranes that stayed, throughout the winter right in front of our property right here on the Platte River. So, that was really cool to see, interesting, and it's something that we're keeping track of. And it's one of the reasons we started doing fall crane counting flights was to start monitoring that population that's deciding to overwinter in Nebraska. Thinking back to that previous graph, also you'll see that we had a record-setting week this year. Week 5 of this year actually set our record for the greatest number of sandhill cranes present on the Platte River that we've counted in our database. So 736,000. Our previous record was actually in 2019 with 670,000. What I think is really cool is that that high count actually persisted for a whole other week. So in week 6, we had 705,000 sandhill cranes on the river, which would have, if the previous week hadn't broken the record already, would have also broken our previous record of 670,000. So we had a lot of cranes kind of piling through here at the same time, midway through March. And so that was really cool to see. One other thing I wanted to touch on is that this spring, the Crane Trust actually launched our Sandhill Crane Tracking Study. Now, this study is entirely donor funded, which is awesome to see that, donors are willing to give money towards novel and cool research. And we want to make sure that we're providing, some insight to those people that invested in this research. And so one of the ways that we're planning to do that is by sharing some maps like this that show the actual routes of the cranes that we put trackers on. So this spring, we put out 5 GPS trackers. We plan to do more next spring. But for now, we have 5 placed on sandhill cranes that were caught here in the Central Platte River Valley. And these GPSs are taking coordinates every 15 minutes on these cranes. And so using those points, we can create these lines that actually show the routes that the cranes have flown since they were here in Nebraska. So you can really see at the bottom of that map here, that pinch point where they're all in Nebraska. And then it was really awesome, just these 5 cranes we got spread out throughout the a huge portion of the range that we see sandhill cranes in. So we have them, in Alberta, Ontario, Saskatchewan, and even one that went as far west as Alaska. So really getting a wide sampling, I guess, of cranes and the places they go during the summer. So it was really cool to see that, and it's been a really cool and exciting project. The reasons that we want to do this project include approximating the distance that cranes will travel for foraging around the Platte River, and also just in general seeing what habitats and where cranes spend their time. There's a little bit of also trying to examine if there are any changes in the migratory corridor of sandhill cranes. There's been some speculation that it's shifting east. And so we wanted to use the GPS data to examine that pattern as well. Next, I want to talk about whooping cranes. So, as many of you know, there are over 500 whooping cranes in the in the world in wild populations. So, for the Platte River in 2025, we were able to document 25 groups of sorry, not sandhill, whooping cranes. Excuse me. And that totaled to 105 individuals that visited the Central Platte River Valley. Now, these numbers aren't quite official yet and aren't finalized. They're part of a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service database, and they're going through to finalize the data right now, but these are the estimates so far. So cool to see that we had so many whooping cranes come through this area and visit us this last spring. And finally, I want to talk about giving a welcome to our fellows and interns that are incoming this year. So, for our Lila O. Wilson, we have put a senior biological monitoring fellow. We have Emma Richards. So, Emma is returning from last year. She was also a fellow this previous year, and she just did such a great job, was a huge asset to the team, and was really happy to be here. So, we decided to, work with her and keep her on for another year, give her some extra responsibilities and whatnot, and try to give her the experience that she wants. So we're really happy and grateful to have Emma Richards back for this next year. We hired a new Saunders Conservation Fellow, William Hamson, from the University of Delaware, and he will actually be arriving this weekend, starting on the 19th. And then we have the Embers Land Management Intern. So Garrett, oh gosh, I don't know if I pronounced his last name for Schmaderer from University of Nebraska Lincoln. He helped out the land management team last summer as well, so he is also kind of returning this year after spending the previous like 9 months at university. Finally, for the interns, we actually have a summer science intern. So Ven Wood from Hastings College will be joining us on the 27th. So we're really excited for our new incoming fellows and interns. Finally, on this slide, I wanted to mention that this summer we do have a partnership with the Pawnee Nation coming up. They're actually bringing a youth camp, the Pawnee Nation Summer Youth Camp, up here this summer to stay for a couple weeks. And we're really excited to host them and kind of show them our property and whatnot. So that will be a really cool experience. And with that, I'd like to pass things over to Matt Fong.
Thanks, Abe. It's amazing to see all of the work that you and the science team have done over the course of the last few months in particular. I just think that that map showing the banded cranes through our GPS tracking project is just fascinating, and so wonderful to see how diverse of species that you have you were able to capture, and interesting to see where they go. So good work and relevant information and data for us to use both for ourselves, but also to share more broadly as well. I wanted to just do kind of a quick overview here. I love this photo on the screens. This was a little family group of folks who participated in our VIP program. I promise they were much better birders than what this photo would denote. But certainly great to see so many people who have such a strong interest in seeing cranes and lots of other birds as well. So there are a variety of ways for people to see and experience the Sandhill crane migration. Obviously, the Nature and Visitor Center is kind of our first stop, so a great headquarters location right here along Interstate 80. We have our gift shop, art gallery, trails. We have also our speaker series available. Then we offer a variety of tours as well. So we do blind tours. We have a footbridge tour, a daytime driving tour. Then we have a variety of photo workshops that are available for uh, folks who maybe have a stronger interest in being a photographer. And then, as I mentioned before, our overnight VIP experience. So you stay on site with us, and so we take you out to our VIP blinds, and you can go out with some of our science team members as well as some of our other staff as well. So a wonderful way to kind of fully immerse yourself in the migration while you're here in central Nebraska. So I am going to pass this on to Megan Launchbaugh. She is our new assistant director of the Nature and Visitor Center. And so we've been delighted to have Megan and all of her enthusiasm and energy. Megan actually came to us as a volunteer and so started just offering blind tours early in the mornings historically. And we snagged her to be our assistant director. And so it's been wonderful to welcome her to the official staff here at the NVC. So Megan, on to you.
Thanks, Matt. It's been my pleasure and very fun this year to see the staff and employee side of things compared to the volunteer stuff last year. So yeah, as Matt mentioned, our Nature and Visitor Center is kind of the hub first stop for crane season viewing, and anyone who has been through there in March, I think can speak to how good the energy in there is. That's kind of how I got hooked. I came in as a volunteer doing blind tours and knew that I was going to love the blinds and the birds, and did not expect to love just the energy and the people so much. But it is, you can feel it in there how much people love being there in March, and it's hard to leave sometimes. So and I think the numbers speak to that. So we had over 23,000 people come through our visitor center in March this year. Our guest book reflected entries from 46 states and 10 different countries. Philly's famous cinnamon rolls are obviously part of the smells and tastes of the scenery. So we had over 591 cinnamon rolls made and sold in March. And then we have a program where you can come in and write a postcard and we'll mail it for you in partnership with Grand Island Tourism, which is awesome. And we had over 2,300 postcards sent to 50 states and 28 countries this year, which is like 900 more than were sent out last year. So that's just a fun way to see people engaging and spending time and hanging out in the visitor center and getting to do all the fun things that are in there. Blind tours and footbridge tours and driving tours are obviously a huge highlight of March as well, because that's when you get to get out and be with the birds. So we had over 2,500 total tour guests this year, which is just an amazing thing to see and get to experience. So, and our reviews reflect how amazing of an experience it is. So, if you have had a chance to be out seeing the cranes and viewing the cranes in any of those settings, but especially in like the blinds and being out under the sky in the evening, it just, I feel like we kind of get an advantage to having great reviews because it's such an amazing experience. But I think our reviews also reflect how awesome our staff and our volunteers are at preserving that experience and making it special for the guests that come through here. Because a lot of them tend to mention the staff and the volunteers and the knowledgeable people that are out on the tours with them. So we just love seeing the great reviews and that people are having a good time and we're checking in and making sure that people are enjoying their time out there and getting to see what they came for. Here's just some clips of some of the reviews that we got that again mentioned how great our guides, our volunteers, and our staff are there because they love being there and love Crane Trust and love the Platte River Valley and love each other. And it just is such a privilege to be a part of the group of people who are making it all happen and bringing the magic to the visitor center every day, but every March in particular. So, all right. Yeah, some envy. So in addition to cranes, obviously cranes are the major highlight of March and the tours, but there are other things that are kind of consistently year round and are just awesome happening at the Nature and Visitor Center as well. We have the bison and the trails out back as usual, which is so nice when March hits and spring is kicking off. People love getting outside and being able to be out there. We did have that cranes and trails photo. We had 5 sandhill cranes land in the bison pasture, which doesn't always happen right there. So that was exciting to see people gathering around the windows in the visitor center as well. We have our pin boards where you can put a pin to reflect where you're visiting from. So it's great to see pins from all over the world. We also added a bird feeder camera outside this year, which has been really fun. I've caught some birds feeding on it. We've also caught footage of like the prescribed burns in the pasture out there, but some of my favorite are the after hours visitors, which you can see down in the corner. We've caught some after hours visitors sneaking into the bird feeder. And then inside the visitor center, we have the standard art gallery and gift shop, which are just amazing to be able to have year round. They're one of the highlights for anyone who comes in. The number of people that we get that comment on how incredible our art gallery and our gift shop is there. It's a huge draw for people who visit, and it's amazing that we can offer those windows into the river valley through a different lens, no pun intended, since we have so many great photographers and artists in the area. So that's just such a blessing to be able to have that for people to view. And then we've also added a new little kids corner. So we have our exhibit room and are just constantly kind of looking for ways that we can find opportunities for people to plug in when they get here and explore a little deeper while they spend time here with us. So our speaker series is one of our highlights of March at NBC. So we always have an amazing lineup of educational events and speakers, and this year was no different. Had speakers from International Crane Foundation, which is such an amazing partnership, and we're so grateful for Michael Forsberg, who is incredible and doing so much for conservation work right now, and had a huge turnout on that day, which was so fun to see. Ted LaGrange at the saline wetlands was super interesting. And then Kylie Warren, who is one of our staff who always has such an awesome footage of cranes after dark from the virtual programs. Andrew Peters, who did Cranes Art and History, and Heather Henson were both amazing, fun, engaging presenters. And then Deb Miller, of course, is one of our incredible volunteers who brings her raptors back every year for us, and that's always a fan favorite. So all those in addition to our art show, which helps feature some of our amazing artists and photographers, which is a great opportunity for us to be able to connect with them too. Instead of just seeing their work, we can see them in person and have a great day together. So, and it's been mentioned a few times, but we cannot say it enough. Thank you to our volunteers. We have over 50 volunteers that were We have a bigger list of volunteers than that, but we had over 50 who were actively engaged this March making it happen. And they logged over 1,700 volunteer hours in March alone. And that's not including coming to the training beforehand and even some of the blind cleaning and things like that that happen before March just to get ready for March. As a volunteer last year, I came to the appreciation events and heard oh yeah, we appreciate our volunteers, and they do such a great job of appreciating them. But this year as a staff, it was really drove home how incredible this group of people is that we get to spend time with in March, and we're just so thankful, and we couldn't do it without them. So. Oh, and we're adding, because our gift shop is such a hit when people come to the Nature and Visitor Center, and we get so many incredible compliments on the variety of options in our gift shop, and we're so thankful to have it. We are working on making that accessible, even if you're not able to make it into the physical gift shop. So we have added an online gift shop available through our website. This is just a little sampling of some of the items that are available on there. And we're just so thankful for people shopping in the gift shop and giving us feedback and asking for things, because that's a huge part of how we support our mission and are able to do work year round, and especially bring the amazing things in March is through all the different ways that people support us, including shopping in our gift shop. So fun new addition that we're excited to have. And I'm going to pass it actually over to Bryce now to talk about one more exciting thing in our gift shop.
Well, thanks for your points of view, Megan, and it's wonderful to have you on the team, not only as a past volunteer, but your dynamic and passionate perspective in our nature center is wonderful. To tie on, what else is in our online gift shop? Michael Forsberg, who Megan mentioned, is a International League of Conservation photographer. He is a National Geographic photographer. He is an instructor at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Grew up in Nebraska and has devoted a lot of his life to helping save the whooping crane. And his latest book, over our many years, I've known Mike, nearly 20 years, a little over that, with different projects we've done. But our latest one was a partnership into his new book, Into Whooperland. So he did have a speaker series on it this year, and many of you on here have probably heard of this book and heard of Michael. And we're just wonderful to be able to sell this through our gift shop and help share our story of the Crane Trust. Many of you know how vital it is to have outreach and education and partners that share our story. And it really dives in. Many of the photos are from the Crane Trust. There's a few stories in there from the Crane Trust, and it shows their overall migration, how vital the Central Nebraska Platte River Valley is to the wild migratory flock of whooping cranes, which travel from Gulf Coast, Texas, to Wood Buffalo Park, Canada. So with that, you can catch that at our gift shop. What else do we have? Well, after we said goodbye to our last guest, the next day we started putting prescribed fires on the ground. And it was exciting. We had some high priority burns that we were trying to accomplish the past couple years. We were able to complete them this year. And we had some good momentum, but as many of the folks know, in Nebraska anyway, we've had a warm, dry, windy spring. So we had some burn bans in effect. So it slowed down our momentum regarding our prescribed fires, but we are grateful for the 170 acres and multiple different burns on our property. So here, the one in the photo is actually right behind the Nature and Visitor Center, and it helped keep some woody vegetation out of the prairie, and will also help us in our bison grazing management going forward. And as it states there, it puts vital nutrients back into the landscape and clears the prairie of invasive and woody species, but it gives us an opportunity to go in and do some restoration tactics as needed and work with our partners on some other projects we're doing. So each prescribed fire has a different plan in mind, and it's just how we structure them throughout the burning season. So we'll continue to burn in the summer and again in the fall, but we'll take a little break during all the migratory grassland bird nesting season that's upon us currently. Bison herd growth. We continue to have our bison that we started in 2013. It was great to be here from the inception of the bison to where we are today. So we currently have 114 bison in our herd, and hot off the press this morning was 33 calves to date. So we'll have, assuming another handful of calves here throughout the next few weeks. And with that, we have a little breakout. We have 16 mature bulls, 20 yearling bulls, and 33 cows and 21 heifers, heifers being females that have not given birth. This really provides research opportunities. We have a long-term monitoring research we mentioned in other programs. The bison are a key component to that, so we can really structure ourselves. What are the small mammals? What is the vegetation? What is bird use in comparison to where bison are and where bison are not? It also gives us an opportunity to train bison handlers and work on different manuscripts focused on the safety of the bison themselves and the bison managers. With that, we also have a bison management plan that is peer-reviewed, published journal on our website that has about 100 pages of more information to show how significant the bison are from a genetic diversity side here at the Trust to how we share our research work throughout the country and even some into Canada and Mexico as well. So kind of a great overlap with our crane protection. And I briefly mentioned this, the spring on the Platte River, as you can see in this photo. This photo was taken yesterday. So today's measurement of water was 85 cubic feet per second coming down the river. So it's a hyperuric river system where a lot of the water is underground. It goes through the different sediment. And sadly enough, when it's May and you don't see any water flowing or very little water flowing in the river, it's a concern. From an environmental assessment side, we hope there's other conservation partnership and groups we're working with, and they target flows for this week in May would be somewhere around a minimum of 800 cubic feet per second. So this is something we're keeping our eye on. It's obviously directly related to snowpack on the Front Range of Colorado and into Wyoming. And it was some of the stories there are some of the least amount of snowpack they've seen in many years on record. So we'll just see. Time will tell. The forecast for the river is not looking great right now. And my rule of thumb, it's always more fun when there's water in the river. But some of the research and thoughts behind it and why the Crane Trust is here is that water provides habitat for native fishes, thus not only from them, but as a food source in the whole cycle of nature. So there's a lot of us to pay attention to as we go through the rest of the year.
We'll continue to keep our fingers crossed for more rain through the next few weeks in particular. So thanks, Bryce. I appreciate that. So a couple of other notes here. I know many of you online with us here today are members of the Crane Trust, and I would just like one quick aside here. We had over 110 people join us here today, so that is incredible. So thanks again, everybody. I think that's the most we've ever had for any of our spring migration recap presentations. So again, really appreciate you and your continued interest in the Crane Trust. Again, our membership program, we have members from all around the world. Our membership starts at just $75 and gives you full access to our wildlife cam and all of our virtual crane tours that we host throughout the month of March. Additionally, all of our friend level members, so that's the $250 level and up, receives our 2025 photo book. So we'll be compiling that photo book here over the course of the next few weeks and hope to plan to send that out to all of our friend level members in July. So again, we are so grateful for the nearly 2,000 members that we have who support the work of the Crane Trust. And so we appreciate you very much. We cannot do our work without you. So it means a lot. Uh, Again, many of you have likely tuned in to our virtual crane cam. So Kylie Warren, who I think is on with us today, runs all of our virtual programs throughout the month of March, and she just does an incredible job. So 5 days a week, she's up first thing in the morning, offering crane tours, and then also doing the exact same thing in the evenings. And so Kylie is just perched in there at her desk the entire month of March, and when she's not at her desk, she's running around with her camera trying to get great footage and great photographs. So we are so grateful for all of her work. So again, from February 22nd to March 30th, over 5,000 hours were watched on our Crane Cam. 11,000 unique views, and the average watch time was 35 minutes. And so I just think that that's wonderful for folks to be able to continue to engage with the Crane Trust and see the crane migration, even if you're not in central Nebraska. So again, appreciate the number of people who have seen and participated in our virtual programs. Kylie put together this short virtual recap video, so I'll play it here now. And so kind of helps to remind us of all of the beauty that we saw throughout the month of March. So I'll get that going here in just 1 second. Additionally, we do have lots of other ways for you to continue to engage virtually with the Crane Trust. So Kylie offered several prairie chicken tours in April. She'll have a bison tour coming up in July, an overview of our scientific surveys in September, and then we'll do a full deep dive into our whooping cranes and the fall migration in November. And then we will also offer a year-end recap coming up in December. So certainly lots of ways for you to continue to learn about the work of the Crane Trust throughout the year. As I mentioned before, we are finishing up soliciting photos for the photo book. I believe that the deadline has actually already passed, but I do know that Matt Urbanski would certainly be open to a couple of more photos if by chance you have a photo or two that you'd be interested in submitting for the photo book. His email is up on the screen here. And then you can also find his contact information on our website too if you have any other questions about that. Again, we'll mail those out in July, but such a nice way for you to see and kind of extend the migration throughout the year. Finally, I would not be doing my job if I didn't mention all of the different ways and why it's so important for us to engage and connect with our members and also just people who have supported us with just individual donations. So all of those donations support our scientific research, our land management, and outreach and education. So you heard from all three of those areas here today, and so any donation, any membership supports all three of those areas. And for us, our 2025 fundraising goal is $850,000. And so every dollar really is important for us. And so we are so grateful for the number of people who continue to support our work and allow us to continue to preserve and restore this really important habitat right here in central Nebraska. That's actually all we have for you today. So again, thank you so much for the number of people who logged in and participated in our session today. Bryce, any final comments?
I just have a couple things before a final thank you, and that is a lot of questions have arisen with what happened with the highly pathogenic avian influenza or the H5N1. Well, we really didn't note a lot of that this year, so thankfully that was the case. Although we stayed in close ties with the Nebraska Game and Parks, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, other conservation partners in the Central Platte River Valley, but we did not note a lot of sickness due to that, did not confirm any. So I just want to share that with everybody. And then, overall, as a recap, we're really excited with our visioning plan that is underway at the Nature Center and the master planning that's forthcoming, along with the expansion of our bison prairie. So we're looking to do some upgrades with our bison corral and extension of our fencing there so we can have more bison on the landscape and then, more prairies to study in that regards. So again, thank you all for chiming in this morning, and I'm out of coffee. I think that's going to be my last coffee of the day, the way I'm possibly shaking here a little bit. So
Might be about time for lunch then. I was also just going through and trying to answer a few additional questions in here. So again, thank you for those of you who answered questions or asked questions. Yes, so social media, we do participate in Facebook and Instagram, also on LinkedIn, and then we'll also share that video on YouTube as well. So we do have a fairly active YouTube channel. And then there was another question, Bryce, do you want to maybe mention this? I did answer it in the question and answer about when the cranes return in the fall.
that's a great question. Rule of thumb is mid-September. So we'll start, trying to listen as many people mention. You can hear them before you can ever see them. So we do usually expect the fall return to be mid-September through November, the majority of the migration to their winter grounds.
Also, just scanning through all of the chats in here, we neglected to mention a big thank you to George Archibald. So he obviously was here for the speaker series, but he also spent an extended amount of time with us here through the month of March. So always nice when George Archibald from the International Crane Foundation comes to see the cranes with us.
I agree.
All right, I don't see any other deep questions here, so I think we will go ahead and sign off. Obviously, folks, you're welcome to reach out to any of our staff members. All of our contact information is available on our website, so feel free if you do have any other additional questions to reach out anytime. Again, thank you. We really appreciate you spending a little time with us and your continued interest and support of the Crane Trust.